Hey listeners, there's a new podcast in town. It's called Boozy Blatherings. I know you're going to love it. It's a drunken vocabulary lesson. Learning while drinking. What could be better than that? It's hosted by the very entertaining Megan Mitlow. Look for it and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Here's a taste of it now.
Hi, I'm Megan. I know about 4 words and 3 of them are curses. Welcome to my new podcast, Boozy Blatherings. It's the perfect combination of drunk history and Merriam-Webster's word of the day. I'll be your host at this cocktail party where every week we'll have a new guest, we'll learn a new word, and we're going to have a lot of cocktails. So pour yourself a drink and get cozy because we're going to have fun. In a second, even though I'm so nervous, my voice is shaking, we're going to get the surprise words. James and I both have a copy of the word. We haven't seen it yet, but we're going to try to pronunciate it for you. And we're going to try to guess what it means. Are you ready?
Okay, go.
Okay, I see it. It's BELLICOSE.
You know, my knee-jerk reaction when I look at this, I know that it is not the right way to pronounce it.
I am full-blown crying at this moment. I want to say it's Bell, right? Let's break it down.
Well, I want to say, I'm going to just, you know what? I'll be the sacrificial lamb.
Thank you.
Bellicose?
Yeah, I was thinking, but I was like, it can't be belly. Is it like bellicose?
Is it like varicose veins but on your stomach?
Shut the mic up. Oh my God.
Hey listeners, for this episode, we're welcoming Lindsey Gerhard back to the show, but this time she'll be on the other side of the table as guest host and talking with her longtime friend and colleague, Ben Griest. Enjoy. Welcome to If This Bar Could Talk, a podcast about bartenders and the stories they have to tell, as well as the storied history of cocktails, spirits, and bars.
Hey gang, welcome to If This Bar Could Talk. My name is Lindsey Gerhard. I am the bar manager of Citizens Trust and also the whiskey guardian for Ohio of Angel's Envy. All right, Ben, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you work? What are we doing these days?
Let's see, where do I work? I work at Veritas as the bar manager, and I've been there since September. I was supposed to start in March, and then this lovely little thing called a pandemic happened, so I got to take a little nice vacation. And before that, I was at Commune and Giuseppe's, and before that, I was at Curio at Harvest, and then before that, I was at a sports bar called Bernard's Tavern.
Bernard's.
Right? Back in the heyday, it was beautiful. I don't know what it's like anymore. I haven't been there in 5 years, but, you know, I'm sure it's still good.
Someone at the liquor store the other day told me they have really good Reuben rolls.
They did. They used to have bomb Reuben rolls. I loved them.
It was a very random yell across the casual arena liquor store.
My daughter and I love the stuffed jalapenos there.
I didn't know they had food there.
They had.
Oh, yeah. They used to have some of the
poppers.
best burgers in Columbus back in, 2011?
Really?
That was when I worked there, so, that's me plugging back then.
I love that. So, Ben, how long have you been in the industry?
14 years bartending and 18 years in the service industry.
And it hasn't all been in Columbus, is that correct?
That is correct. I did 6 months in Las Vegas, Nevada. When I worked for Buffalo Wild Wings, I went out there as a corporate trainer. And then I was supposed to bartend, but they didn't think I understood the gaming laws, which is very easy to understand. Every $20 you spend, you get a free beer at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wow.
It was way above my head.
I was going to say, it's pretty hard to follow, so I understand.
Yeah, I know. It can be very complex. But it actually ended up working out very well because I ended up serving over 80% of the Chamber of Commerce of Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I got recognized for excellence in service and did a little picture thing with, I wish it was the real Elvis, but it was not. So that was fun. And then I came back home and, I had this little badass certificate that made everybody in Las Vegas mad at me.
I love that. So what brought you back to Columbus?
Family.
Okay.
Family brought me back to Columbus. At the time, my mom was sick, so I came home.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Yeah,
so.
I'm happy to be back. It all worked out for a reason.
So you were at Bernard's for
5 years. I was their bar manager, and at the time, cocktails weren't really they were starting to take ground in Columbus, Ohio. So it was really a focus of beer, and being on the polar opposite end of bodega, my only competition was to have beers rivaling their list. So, on either side of the short north, you could have enjoyed some killer beers.
What got you into craft cocktails?
Actually, that's a fun story. Getting home late every night and not sleeping, I would watch Good Eats with Alton Brown. And then there was an infomercial show that was essentially like a Diageo supported thing that took place in Colorado. And this guy had this thing called a Sugar Daddy Caddy, which is the most wonderful name ever.
I want to know so much about that.
It was essentially like a little mini jewelry box, but each drawer had a different like ring for sugar caddies. And salt caddies and brines. It was like this weird caddy, but I just remember like watching him make cocktails right after watching Alton Brown like go deep into flavor profiles. Like I slowly started getting bored doing beers and shots, and I would like make weird one-off cocktails with regulars at the bar, and then Guild House opened up next door, and I made the leap over there. And then shortly after, I got lucky, and good friend Josh Rice went to Portland Cocktail Week, and I got to guest bartend at Curio for Negroni Week.
How was that experience for you?
Oh, it was great. I made nothing but Negronis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a whole week?
For a whole week, yeah. That was like literally, ironically, nobody ordered anything else off me but a Negroni, so I didn't like...
Negroni Week in the heyday used to be, wow. It was
Oh, yeah.
like I was fine with never seeing a Negroni for months after that.
It was a weird time. Yeah. And then I met two of my now dear friends and constant regulars who I will say will always tell a story that they advocated to hire me and told Travis that they would double their money if I came on board. And I feel like they honestly did. They came at least like twice a week when I was there.
Yeah. They actually, when Ben started, they wouldn't look at the menu anymore, even though they definitely had it memorized. And they would be like, Ben, what pizza are we feeling today? And whether he was right or wrong, you could read their face, but they would eat it anyways and always be so happy.
Yeah, I never took their order. I made their order.
Yeah.
It was the easiest version of omakase in the entire world.
It really was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Curio,
Yes.
what was that experience like for you, transferring over from a very high volume, turn and burn kind of bar into a craft cocktail bar that was definitely one of the few of its kind that Columbus has ever seen?
Oh, for sure. At first, I was very overwhelmed. I felt like I had to prove my worth to all of you. You can laugh at that if you want, but I mean, you all had been working there for years or had been doing craft cocktails. I felt like I had to work twice as hard to make you guys feel like I should even be there. And then I realized like it was just one big family. And then to this day, it's my favorite job. And if that place was still open, like I don't even care if I was making $20 a day. Like that was the best place to be. It was the truest place where I felt like I was challenged every day to do better than I did the day before. And like I still move forward with that practice now, making myself do better than the day before. But definitely like Chris Rock in a stand-up once said, like, I don't have a job, I have a career. Like I don't go to work and I don't hate work. And I always, like, when I would have been like 12 when that came out. But I always remembered, like, that's what I wanted to do. I was just like have a job or a career where I walked in every day and I never hated 2 seconds of it. And that definitely was like the first time I got that taste of life.
Oh, I love that.
That's
I
awesome.
absolutely agree with that. I mean, coming from somebody who worked there for 6 years or so, and we joke that I spent more time there than my house anywhere. I used to call it my first house. It was nice to be surrounded by a family that is also continued.
Oh yeah, it was like group messages weekly at the minimum.
Yeah.
If not side text with
Always.
everybody individually.
So was it at Curio or before Curio when you started really getting into competitions? Because I know that's a big staple for you right now.
It is. So the first one I did, Megan from 614 was friends with Martin Lamp, the owner of Bernard's Tavern, or one of the owners. And he was like, do you want to do this? And I was like, sure. I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I would definitely say I was way, way, way underqualified to do anything of the sort. But I did a grasshopper variation, and I served Lindt white chocolate. Truffles with it, and I got People's Choice Award. So I found out how to always win People's Choice.
And where was that?
Chocolate. Where?
Yeah.
Was that?
And when? What year are we talking about?
This would have been 2013, and I think where they used to hold the events.
That's a good question.
Because it was on a second floor.
It was on a second floor, and they used.
Because I remember we had this story later, and you guys got mad at me because I won.
Was that one of the
something
ones
and you guys
that
didn't?
was that one of the ones upstairs at Sidebar?
No,
It wasn't sidebar. It was like a hotel space.
Okay.
but it was. It's gonna come to me.
I want it, like, if you've ever been in the upstairs of the athletic club, it almost looked like the layout of one of those rooms, but it wasn't at the athletic club. I wish I could remember where it was.
I'm sure
right.
somebody will fill
Chime
us in.
in.
And, yeah, like
if you know in the comments, please. Like,
yeah, let us know because we don't.
I won a dartboard that year.
Ooh.
Oh.
Do you still have the dartboard?
I sure don't.
Oh, you should have kept it.
I think my former roommate took it.
That checks out. That feels right.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, it's one of those things that I was like, I guess if you need it, take it.
Right. If you're really that out for the count for a
Yeah.
dartboard.
I mean, I will be honest. I am a fan of the. I know this is off topic, but I'm a fan more of the old school with the metal tips than the plastic darts because I tend to break those. So, and it was a plastic dartboard, so I definitely broke a lot of tips. So I was not heartbroken that it was gone.
Maybe he used it to make decisions.
Ooh, that'd be good. My friend did a Jenga set like that once.
Interesting.
Where he wrote different outcomes on each one. So the last one he pulled when it toppled over was the path that he chose that evening.
I might do that.
It was usually involved with like a lot of drinking, but you know,
That also checks out. That feels
that
like
was a good way to
Yeah,
go
that
about the night.
makes
sense. Yeah,
Like case
I like that.
race.
right. At least you're being
Yeah,
active
whatever.
with it,
Yeah.
sort of.
We're gonna mix it up today.
So, what competitions have you participated in, and do you participate in the most?
Woodford Reserve's Manhattan experience is probably the one I do the most. I think I've competed 5 or 6 years in it now. I've for sure gone down there twice. One of the reps and I were debating because I feel like I went 3 times, but I've gotten to Louisville enough to where it kind of washes out in memory. But I know I've won 2 regional states and at least 1 or 2 People's Choice.
Yeah.
And then this
Nice.
most recent one, I lost by 1 point.
Competitions are they're just so out of my range.
They are. I mean, they're a whole different breed, and it's weird too
Yeah.
because like you'll bartend on something that's like comes below, like just above your knees is like the table you're working on, and like when you bartend, you're working almost like chest level. So it's very weird to start pouring things for people and not look like you don't know how to like control your pours because you're like awkwardly leaning over something.
So, have you competed in Bombay?
I have competed in Bombay.
Bombay, for anyone who isn't aware, is the most imaginative bartender, and they do it worldwide, I believe.
It is.
It's statewide at least,
It's
and then
a national competition that goes to London.
yes,
Right.
that's what
It
it
goes
is.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know
Eventually.
Beefeater is a worldwide competition for sure. I'm sure Bacardi USA is world.
Yeah,
the
Bacardi
Bacardi
is as well,
Legacy
yeah.
is worldwide. But yeah, I've done Bombay Sapphire a few times. The first time I did it was probably the most interesting time I ever did it. Gary Hayward, which was an amazing human being to know if you ever got to meet him if you're in the industry. He was one of the judges for it, and Travis and I did it. This was right after I had just guest bartended at Curio, so I wasn't even a fully fledged staff member, but I still represented Curio, and I did some riff on a bee's knees, which is bourbon, lemon, and honey, and I remember talking with Gary afterwards, and he's like, "Oh, so why'd you pick this with the gin?" And without even like thinking, I was like, "Well, actually, I hate gin." And he just dead stared at me, and I was like, "Well, to be fair, when I was like 17, I had like alcohol poisoning, and like I've been scarred on gin for a long time, and like without missing a beat or making me feel like a fool for saying that to the national rep of the competition I just competed in." He was like, "Yeah, it's like me and Jaeger. I too many Jaeger bombs, and like the smell of it, I'm out." And then we just like joked about that, and then became great friends. And then moving forward to a competition where I moved on to Detroit, I presented and then proceeded to go to the two Coney restaurants in Detroit, American Coney and Lafayette. But we ended up buying like $100 worth so we could have a side competition with the judges and the participants to determine what we thought was the best Coney dog in Detroit.
I love everything about that.
Yeah.
That feels very on brand for bartenders to find a way to make a whole nother competition of Conies. And I'm mad I missed it, frankly.
It was fun.
So now, once Curio, unfortunately, had its end.
Yeah,
You
side note, Travis's last night was my birthday of my 32nd.
Oh my God, that's right.
Best, worst day ever.
Yeah, it was
It was a beautiful, actually, it was like probably the most, I couldn't have asked for a better way to end it.
cathartic.
I didn't want
really.
it to end, but like
Yeah,
to go out on my birthday, which is what, 32 is a power number, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because it's like 2, 4, 8, 16, 20, or whatever. I don't know what it is. I think it's a power number.
How was the last night of Curio?
Oh, it was a beast. I can only remember things when I look at pictures.
I absolutely agree with that.
That night was just such a blur with so many people. So like, it was beautiful to watch the entire city come in and show its love. And
In
like
a tiny bar.
in a tiny bar, and like they'd like fill it up and then they would leave. So the next, like, they naturally allowed new people to come in. Like, I only think like a handful of people actually like camped for hours.
I remember I got stopped on my way in by a whole bunch of people that I didn't recognize. They were like, this is kind of a closed thing for people who know the place. And I held my tongue very politely and just said, "Get out of my way," and walked behind the bar and just started probably pouring shots as you normally do. But it was a madhouse, but beautiful. It was so full of love.
Oh yeah,
It was great. I enjoyed it too.
no, that was a beautiful evening.
I had I didn't go for long. I didn't want to take up other people's space, but I got a cocktail from Travis. I got a last word.
That's a fitting.
Yeah,
compliment.
so
That's
fitting.
what I thought. And saw a dozen people that I knew, and then
Yeah.
gave my space to someone else so that they could enjoy too.
I think it's very,
But it was a great evening.
yeah, it's an interesting dynamic how so many people throughout the years showed up but also felt okay giving their time and being like, you know what? I spent my time for someone else. Most people generally can be not necessarily selfish, but almost like get lost in their nostalgia and not want to leave. And I
Or
think
not
it's
even like think about it. They're just like, oh, it's the last
Absolutely.
time I get to hang out here. So like, let me like
soak it
BS
in.
with the bartenders or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't time for that.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think I honestly said like, other than taking orders, I think I honestly said 100 words that entire night. Like,
Wow.
there was not a lot. There was not time to talk.
Yeah.
It's ironic that you asked me about going from a high volume bar to
Yeah.
the most efficient high volume cocktail bar I've ever been in, for as small as it was.
Yeah, I wondered that because it always seemed high volume, even though it was so tiny. It was always busy.
It was meticulous. Like, behind the bar, everything was meticulously laid out. And that's like, when I first started, it was like there were a few like 7-touch cocktails, but by the end, if it could be put into a bottle, sans like juice and sugar, it was in the bottle, ready to go. Like, the kegs had like the bitters already put in them.
Yeah.
Everything was designed for no finishing. Like,
Yeah.
no fooling around.
Dilute, make it cold, serve it, go.
I think that one of the biggest things, and correct me if I'm wrong, from working there was actually how to blend high volume and very meticulous craft cocktails.
Yeah.
And I know that you and I both definitely adapted that process into everything else we do with batching and whatnot. And we're still arguing with people about why it's okay to batch your cocktails.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to wait 6 minutes for a drink.
Yeah.
And if you do, I hope you're doing it because they are busy as all hell.
Or because it can't be batched,
Right.
Yeah.
which is okay.
And that's fine.
But I mean, even if you look at like Death & Co. or anybody in New York, or Dead Rabbit, like they have cheater bottles with like at least some varying number of ingredients mixed together already for it. I mean, go someplace like Nightjar in London or something where like I would wait 10 minutes for a drink because their presentation of the drink is worth the wait. Like I've never had a cocktail there, so I can't speak on what they are. They always look delicious, but their presentation is something that like is just something I wish I could do and dedicate. Like I could get away in Columbus for being like, I can make your cocktail in under a minute and a half. I am a very fast bartender, but like give me 5 more minutes to give you the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
So what's your favorite bar in the whole wide world?
Are we talking dive bar?
We'll do both. We'll do cocktail bar and dive bar.
Dive bar for me is going to be right by my house, Fairweather's Cocktail and Spirits.
I thought you were going to say Motor City Wine.
No, that is a very good one in Detroit. See, now you're making me like bounce everywhere.
I know.
But I'm going to
I'm the
stick to
worst.
what's close to home.
I could.
They have like a mini dance floor, pool table, darts. They have tables that look like they were explicitly designed for card games. Where like you have a little coaster here and like another thing here, but like you're cued into the seats and it's like an octagon shape.
Oh, I like that.
But every shot you get there gets slowly bigger. And that's why I like it.
That's the good definition of a dive bar.
Yeah, every time you order the same shot, it's just bigger pours. Cocktail bar. If I was gonna like just go for aesthetics of a bar, Bad Luck in Detroit is like beautiful. I think they have some overpriced concepts, but just the way the bar is laid out and how it's organized is absolutely beautiful. There's like a little speakeasy in LA off the Sunset Strip. I really wish I could remember the name, but you walk through this deli and it is like, when I walked in, I was like, this is like if Curio was like brick wall inside and there was enough room for like a piano.
Interesting.
And then I would have to say Silver Dollar in Kentucky. Not for the reasons you would think. Like the cocktails are great, but I think I love it because every time I've gone there, they've let me hop the bar and play records.
Yeah, that's
And-
absolutely true.
And like to have that experience where they're like, cool, you have good music taste. Go play
And
some
for
music.
me, that's one of the best brunches in the city.
Oh, in Louisville for sure.
It is just such an adorable bar. Like I feel like every time I'm there, it's for a good reason, and I always leave much happier.
And let's not forget 6 pages of bourbons.
Yeah,
No,
that
yeah.
never hurts. It's never a rough.
No, I mean, if we were just gonna say best whiskey in Columbus or Ohio, I mean, a lot of people think Century Bar, but I'll put Wings against that every day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that Scotch list is just the most beautiful thing in the
Yeah.
entire world.
Century used to have, before they became very public, used to have a phenomenal list, and everything was very cheap. It's a good hometown hero for me, back when you could smoke cigarettes inside bars, which I did. And now they're very well known, very famous, and that's amazing. But Wings still has, I will agree with that 1,000%.
I think they're the only place that actually still has birthday bourbons from previous years.
I know.
Which always amazes me that like Kenny just somehow like micromanages.
And
them.
Kenny's such a great guy.
Oh
too.
yeah, no, he's the best.
So
Him and Woody, I love both of them. I can't speak for. I honestly would love to say anything else about any other bartenders or staff there, but they're the only two who have ever served me when I'm there. So I can't speak on behalf of anybody else. But those two make me happy, and I'm a big big fanatic of Cheers.
Yeah.
Like I love that show, and I've probably watched it like 11 times. Because it is a concept that always like baffled my mind of like, I'm gonna make the most classic cocktails in the entire world, but I'm also just gonna be this like barnyard buster of disaster in-house experience. I'm like, that is what a real restaurant is like.
Yeah.
Minus maybe including the entire patronage to help you solve your problems.
Mm-hmm. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
But also, I very much so. Wings, I remember when I first moved here and I was like, where do you get a good, like really good pour for like a decent price? They were like, well, you're going to have to get some really good but shitty Chinese food with it too. Like the most Americanized. I was like, nothing you're saying sounds bad to me. And I went there and I was like, this is everything I wanted. Just right on the outskirts of Bexley.
So speaking of TV shows, I know that I read maybe a year ago that you had started a TV show.
I did.
What happened with that? Tell us about it.
So there's a online cocktail competition. Sean Ford put this, and he's still, I think if I'm correct in my updates on it, I'm like jumping around a little bit, but I think they got signed to somebody. I'm not sure who.
Okay.
Or he's still working on it being signed. But
And Sean is in Cleveland.
Sean is in Cleveland.
Okay.
But him and a few of his friends put together this concept for like a chop style competition, where you use bar products, obviously. So it's sponsored, and then it highlights tools that you can use behind the bar. So I know like one time we used a loose bag, and one time we used like an aerator foamer for like essentially like an egg white cocktail. But then so you like, and we had our judges, and I had Kevin Bledsoe. He does like barbecue in Texas and LA.
Okay.
DJ Hurricane, who's a DJ for the Beastie Boys, and I believe it was Molly Wellerman of Cincinnati was the other judge. And then so you just like competed, and it was very fun. And I'm not spoiling anything behind like reality TV shows or anything, but it was weird that like they guided me in a direction that's not who I am, because I was the oldest one, so I was like perceived as like the veteran and like had to fight to prove myself. And like reality, I just wanted to be like, everybody's gonna do well. But they're like, what would you say to let them know? So it's like very weird for me to be like feisty,
That's funny.
because I just always.
So is it going forward, or
So
you think it has been signed?
I think it has been signed. I think it will come out sometime in the next year and a half. And I know like
Cool.
I was part of the pilot. And I know, without spoiling anything, win or lose, I'm not saying I did either. But I know I was asked for possible future endeavors with that show once it does take off.
Awesome.
So I would love that very much. But it was fun. It was weird. It was like a 3-year process. It was supposed to happen, then it didn't happen because they were going to sign a contract with somebody who was like clearly trying to just take advantage of them for money.
Oh,
And it was like, we get all these percentages, and like it was like, you're going to make like 15% of nothing. So they're like, we'll find somebody else to like support this. And that's what like held everything up.
got it.
But it was real cool to meet, Molly, Kevin, and Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like of all people, I would be like, yeah, you'd be good on a TV show.
I auditioned once for Real World way back in the day.
Can you tell me everything about that process? I am,
Sure.
I would also like to know the time frame, because
I was 19.
amazing. Okay.
The thing was at, God, what bar would that have been? It's Big Bar now, but it was something else way back in the day. Piani or something like that.
Okay.
But that's where the interviews were for it. And we essentially had like a group control room where they asked questions and what you would do, and if you'd backstab somebody. And it was that same thing where I was like, I can't be mean to people I don't know. It's just not in me. So I went in and they asked questions, and they're like, so like, what would you do? And I was like, I'd probably be the guy that walked around naked a lot.
Okay, but that still makes good TV, and that's very true for you.
It is very true for me. It didn't work. I had a brown leather jacket. I pretty much dressed as like Fez. I walked in looking like Fez. I had this sweet brown leather coat, brown corduroys on.
Brown corduroys?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
It's something you've never seen me in since then.
I
tried
know.
real hard to look like a gimmick. I think I had like a Hawaiian shirt on underneath. I tried to stand out. I was like going cross Tyler Durden Fez.
Ooh, okay. Did you consider an accent? Like, what was going to be your special piece of flair besides obviously your...
Running around naked.
Well, yeah, but that's just normal for you. So
That is true. That's why I didn't get it. I didn't have anything prepared. I thought it was just like, because like when they used to show like the people who applied, they just did like weird little promo videos, like they're like a professional wrestler or something, cut a promo. That's what I thought I was gonna have to do, so I was just gonna wing it. But then when they're just like, raise your hand if you would do this or that, and I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't do either of those.
Man.
I was like, I can't legally drink on this show, so I can't like raise my hand saying I'm gonna get sloppy drunk and like sleep with a co-housemate or whatever. Man,
your life would have been so different if you would have made it onto the real world.
Yeah.
At 19.
Ironically, that show was the year where that dude ran up and punched that one girl through the car window. That was the year I would have been on there, I think.
That could have been you if you would have just
I
showed
could
a
have been
little bit
punched.
more
I
aggression
could
and been
have
like, you know what I'm going to do?
I can be punched in the face by an angry man.
Oh, I'm glad you took it the other way. I was like, yeah, you can punch somebody.
Yeah,
you
no.
wouldn't, but I mean, fake it till you make it. Get on the show.
Yeah. I think
Try again.
I think in all the times I've kicked people out, I've never thrown a punch.
Me neither.
I've been swung on a lot, but never thrown a punch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just like a monkey grappler. Just climb on your back until you lose balance and then hope somebody else helps me drag you out.
I cannot wait to hear about your bar kick out stories because I feel like really just through all the years, you've probably had some good
and bad.
Yeah.
They're never fun.
No.
That also.
It's not a fun experience.
Well, then this might be the place where we stop, take a break. You make us a cocktail.
Sounds good.
What are you planning to make for us?
I'm going to make a clarified jungle bird.
Awesome.
That's been milk washed.
All right. Well, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with a clarified jungle bird.
And we're back with Ben's version of a jungle bird. Ben, would you like to explain what you did to this cocktail and what makes it special?
Yes. So a jungle bird, if you're unfamiliar, is blackstrap rum, Campari, pineapple juice, lime, and sugar. And I milk washed it, which was popularized by Ben Franklin, of all people. I believe his first one included port and black tea and lemon. But the idea is that it removes a lot of the astringent qualities of a cocktail. So it just makes it very smooth. And then also just provides this like very whey creamy mouthfeel to the cocktail.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Well, this is actually one of my favorite cocktails in general. And I love a good milk wash on anything. So, double whammy. What really gets
So
it for
interesting.
me
I love it.
is the color.
Yeah.
Traditionally, with the Campari coming through, it would be very bright red, and it almost has like a very light, almost like a Chardonnay color to it.
It does. It smells and looks like a pineapple gummy bear.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me again the ingredients.
It is blackstrap rum, Campari, pineapple juice, lime juice, and sugar. So the natural color
awesome.
is like almost burgundy, blood, like a dark blood burgundy color.
Yeah, and this is kind of coming out looking like Blanco vermouth.
Yeah.
Or a very, very light white wine.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. Do you have this on a multiple rotational menu or?
So this one I had actually made for my own pleasure, but at Veritas right now I have a variation for our Italian menu using Averna Amaro and Agnostura Amaro in replacement of the blackstrap rum. And it is just a wonderful flavor.
So what
profile.
does the milk washing do that like changes that mouthfeel so much?
So when the acid curdles, it removes the tannic qualities and the astringency of bold flavors. So it just creates everything. It allows everything to just become smooth, and you can taste the profile for what it is, as opposed to like an over dominating feature. Because like I can still slightly taste the blackstrap rum, but it's not something that like overpowers, or you're like, that is definitely like a funky style rum, or like even the Campari, it's so tame. I feel like milk washing is like the dirty secret way to trick people into trying things that they would like be afraid of, because the flavors are so controlled and muted.
It gives off a very creamy texture while also still being very light, palatable, easy to drink on all fronts.
The only downside to it is as you heard when I was stirring, I didn't stir for as long as I normally would. I stirred about 5 cocktails for just a handful of seconds, because it's shelf stable once it's milk washed, and you only really just need to chill it. It is also a lot more boozy because the dilution doesn't exist as much. Because if you actually put the proper dilution in, you would lose all the like flavor profile, and it'd just be this thin, creamy mouthfeel.
So how do you know how long to stir then? How do you know when it's diluted enough?
For the milk wash, or just in general?
In general.
The best way to do it is to look at your mixing glass and feel it as well. When it feels like it has a cool temperature of the desired temperature you're trying to reach, you can see like frosting on the glass. Like if you shake something like the steel tin, like it's a frost coat on it, like your mixing glass will start to like sweat and like glisten over like a frost layer, and that's usually like right where you want to be.
That's enough. Got it.
And then also if you don't know, like the safest way is always like 20 revolutions is a very safe way to go about stirring. And then for your own take as an individual, when you're making a cocktail at home, if you need it more diluted, just keep stirring. If you need less, I kind of realized over time too, it's kind of more of a personal thing, because you could line up 20 bartenders with the exact same ingredients to make the exact same Manhattan, and they'll all slightly taste different, even if you were to put every single ingredient into the mixing glass. And it's just all like people's natural like finesse touches. It's like a chef plating something. Like as time goes on, they get a feel for how things should look and how warm the plate should be when it goes out and whatnot. Just those minute details just kind of like come to you over time.
So I know my Manhattans are generally a little bit hotter, a little bit spicier, but that's again due to my personal preference.
Yeah. It's one of those things too where you like look at it in two ways. You're like, this is my target reach, but it doesn't fill the glass. So then you like have to make that mental note of like, do I serve it where it looks like I shorted you, but in reality, like you're getting it the way I want you to have it? Or do you appease the person and fill the glass to the brim and like compromise the integrity of the cocktail? And the answer is honestly like the compromise in between the two.
Yeah.
It's probably like the perfect mass version of the drink.
So Ben, we worked together for quite a few years at Curio.
Yes, we were.
We've had many stories together. What would your favorite story to bounce back and share be? That's appropriate for the
I was going to
podcast.
say, what is the appropriate level of this podcast?
We always rated explicit, so you can say whatever you want.
Okay. So
I hate that you said that. I know where this is going. This goes back into kicking people out story, isn't it?
this is probably the only time I actually failed at kicking somebody out story.
All right. I can't
Lindsay
wait
had
now.
just taken over manager for Curio, and she was done. Annie, myself, and Cade were working behind the bar, and this woman comes up to the bar, and she's sitting there, and she was supposed to have a blind date, a Tinder date or something.
She had a date at Harvest that started at 4.
Okay, yeah.
And they drank through 2 bottles of wine, and no one at Harvest let the people at Curio know that on this casual Wednesday, she wasn't the most sober. Continue.
Oh, yeah. So she comes up to the bar, and Annie and I are like, well, let's give you some water and like we'll look over the menu together, trying to like buy some time to figure out what was going on. And then she proceeded to invite me to stop working and go home with her. And I said, no, thank you. And then Lindsay was just being a sweet human being, was just coming in to have a drink and like go over some work or something, and happens to sit right next to this woman by chance. And then this woman tries to befriend her. Lindsay goes and smokes a cigarette. She ends up drinking all of Lindsay's drink.
Oh.
It's still light outside, you guys, in case that's
This is about 6:30 in the summer.
She had a date, and there was a back door at Curio. And when the date said he was going to the restroom.
Oh, that's right. He
walked out the back door. Shit. And because she was, and we were like, oh, this poor girl, that is awful. And then, well, guys, it turns out he
was right.
was not one of our favorite people, but she is still a favorite person to talk about.
Yeah.
Continue.
I don't really know. I don't know how it jumped as far as it did.
It escalated quickly.
It escalated very quickly to the point that Lindsay was called Stankpuss.
Oh.
And I was referenced as, I want to smell the base of your cock because you're a cockmuncher.
Mm-hmm. How does it taste is what she just kept yelling in Curio.
Huh.
Yeah, right?
And
interesting. Oh,
again,
and it gets better.
You guys.
It gets better.
It gets
we're
better.
not done, guys. This is just the tip of the fucking iceberg.
So now it's dark. Now we're at like 9 o'clock.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the conversation. But it's
that
also
too.
physically
That
dark.
as well.
Yeah. No, sorry.
We're about to nosedive, gang. We're not even there yet.
Sean Ward shows up.
Yeah.
And he thinks that we are mishandling this person in the worst way possible by just trying to get her to get in a cab and go home. Like, we have all offered. She won't leave with. The only way she'll leave is if one of us goes home with her. She's not going home solo on this date night of hers.
A cab driver walked her. I told her if she was going to drive, I have to call the police because that's irresponsible on everyone's part, and just don't. Called a cab. The cab comes. She says something horrible to the driver while I'm trying to manage my first night off in like weeks. I'm like, this is who I'm dealing with right now. Great. The cab driver is so frustrated with her that he actually walks her to her car, opens it, and yells something along the lines of, I hope you do end up dying. And tries to put her in to where we all pick her up out of the car. She's not a very big girl. She's like my size. And like bring her back. So then Sean Ward gets involved.
And he says we're being out of line, and then she goes on the parade again about Stankpuss and Cockmuncher being Lindsay and I. And Sean gets another Uber to come. He's like, I'll get her in the Uber, and I'll tell the Uber driver I'm hopping out around the block, and you just keep driving. That was like his plan, was just to like dine and dash the Uber ride with her. But I don't think that worked. I actually think he had to end up following her home.
No, she wanted me to go home with her because at this point she decided we were in love.
That's true. It got warm and heartfelt towards the end.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, let me go get my bag. So then I hid in the tiny curio closet that was actually a trapdoor to the basement, and I just stood there until Sean walked her in, and then they sat at a high top, and then I didn't know what else to do besides call the police.
You basically did what her date had done earlier.
Except I didn't go out the right door. I went into a door that I couldn't go out the other side.
Oh my God,
I
I
was
forgot
trapped
about
inside.
the police.
And then the police came, and I like identified her, and they weren't going to arrest her. They were just taking her home. And the last little treat of her was the cops being like, can we see your ID so we can take you to your proper address? And she was like, has this been your plan the whole time? And I was like, I mean, like, kind of at this point, yeah. And then she just turns to me and just starts screaming in front of the cops, we could have been something. And I was like, I don't know your name, and I am horrified of you as a person. And then so she was like, arrest me. And they were like, for the 9th time, we are not arresting you. We just want to get you home safe. And I think this was like Annie's 3rd night working at Curio. I didn't know what was happening at this point. And that was probably one of the stories that never died for years.
That's a great story.
And again, you guys, it was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I had to be like, hey, German Village is trying to sleep. Can you stop yelling Cockmuncher and Stankpuss in the streets right now? Because they also echo. Like, this is horrible.
Didn't you try and take one of the police officers home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, she,
Of course.
when she realized she wasn't getting arrested, it was also cold out. She took her jacket off and started pulling her shirt down and was like, well, I'll make this worth your while. And they were like, oh my God, no, what is happening? And I just said, thank you, officers. Have a wonderful night. And went inside and locked the doors because I
Shit.
hated everything.
That was a good night.
Then she came in about 7 months later and she sat in my well. And all of us just, it was a Friday night and all of us just froze. And I was like, you guys, Stankpuss is here. Because like, that's just who she was. Didn't recognize any of us. She was still like kind of a bitch. But at the same point, we were like, do we bring it up? Do we ask if she went on a second date with that guy? Like, where do we go here?
I was not into being called Cockmuncher again.
I mean, also same.
I mean,
Wasn't my-
Stankpuss and Cockmuncher, like, they're fine names in all the right ways, but in a bar environment, they get weird. I remember one time there was an inappropriate comment made across the bar. This woman used to come in.
Oh my
I will not say her name. But she used to come in, and she would always drink a type of rum and a Diet Coke.
She was here on business, too.
Yeah, and she was a student. But she came in a lot, like every week on a Thursday. And then the regulars I talked about earlier had come up, and they're like, how's your girlfriend? And she screams across the bar, you have a girlfriend? And I was like, yeah, I do. I've been with her for like a year and a half. And she, without missing a beat, she just screams, now who am I supposed to masturbate to? And I was like, well,
Again, it was still light outside, you guys.
This is like 6 o'clock. So we've been open for an hour. And
yeah.
the only response I could give, I was like, well, you can masturbate to whoever you want. And you can still dream about me. Like, knock yourself out. That was weird.
The amount of times, like, I have big rules on, listen, guys, when it's light outside, like, can we just tone it? Once it gets dark, sure. Do you? I don't care.
When Wu-Tang comes on, say what you
Yeah,
want.
when Wu-Tang comes on, or Tribe, or, Diggable Planets, anything like that, I'm like, cool, great. But if we have Etta James playing and you're going to yell
We're
these
still
things,
on the jazz playlist.
Yeah.
Let's keep it cool.
We're easing in, gang. We're all just drinking our, like, 4th cup of coffee for the day, which for most people would be their normal first.
Yeah.
But
that was definitely our, like, espresso shot before the shift time. Yep.
Ben also one time got our favorite Yelp review of all time. It was the most sensual Yelp review.
So there's
As a spite.
it was a spite Yelp review, not against me, against her brother. Her brother, I'm assuming he had a crush on me, like the way a 6-year-old girl treats a boy that she likes, like how they're just overtly like mean and harassing them and picking on them. But he brought his sister in, and she wasn't having the way he was talking to me. So she wrote a Yelp review saying that I fulfilled her every desire and my cocktails were the most erotic cocktails in the entire world. And if you've ever had anything of a better experience, you are wrong. Essentially is what it was.
And as the family,
5 stars.
Yeah.
It was a 5-star review.
As the family that we were and could not stop making fun of each other, we brought that up at least every other day for maybe a year.
I think my favorite thing about that is
Started dragging other people into it who had no idea. Innocent bystanders.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about that was there was a post where Stephanie from Harvest had made a comment back right when it had happened, and a post got a like or something, so she got like notified about that update, and she looked back at her comment and she was like, I have no idea how drunk was I was like, no, you were referencing that Yelp review. She's like, I forgot about that Yelp review.
What a time.
It was a good time.
All right, well, we can't end this interview without discussing one of our first big family trips together, Maker's Mark.
Oh yeah, that was a very good trip. We went down there, so it was the whole Curio crew. Rebecca Monday was in Dublin at the time, And then it was Matt Torsha, his wife, and Chris Crater all went down. Went to dinner the first night.
Ate up.
That's right. Thank you. And I just remember getting completely inebriated on Manhattans before we even sat down to dinner at the little like sidebar where they had like special cocktails for us. And then we proceeded to probably drink a bottle there.
Yeah.
And then we had an amazing dinner, and then we proceeded to go.
Well, then we all remember that the 4 a.m. rule existed.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a Sunday night, so what else were we going to do?
We went to a bourbon bar of all places.
We did, and Ben and I were very sober when we decided to split a $200 not even full ounce pour.
No, it was a 1 ounce pour.
It was a full 1 ounce. Well, that's good.
One
That makes me feel
ounce
better.
pour was a Jefferson's Reserve 24 year.
Yeah, I don't remember how it tasted. I just remember my credit card statement the next day being like, ooh,
Yeah, it was a pricey
we
bowl.
felt good.
It was the only time in my life I think 1 ounce lasted an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got very, very hammered, very hungover.
For that 7:30 a.m. bus call.
Yeah.
And then you go to the distillery.
And then we went to the distillery. However, Lindsay didn't show up on time, and while we tried to rescue her to come down, she told us to fuck off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It
and
was
then
really good leadership.
And then magically
showman.
showed up anyways. Like as she essentially like made it seem like she was on her own personal phone telling us to fuck off, but she was from the hotel room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really sober at that point still.
And then we drive to Maker's Mark. We're all very rough in the morning. I think we just ate like packaged donuts or something, like nothing substantial. And then we get there, and the first thing they put in our mouths at like 8:30 in the morning is white lightning.
Yeah, hot.
Because like when you walk, if you've
White
ever
lightning.
been to Maker's Mark, when you walk in, like they have, like their still is just running through like the main entrance, and so you can like stick a cup in and pull out the whiskey as it runs through, and so they just
Oh God.
to kick off the day, we had some white lightning.
Good morning.
It still makes me cringe because I remember all of us looked at each other there. They were so excited to give us this private tour because we were going to be doing the private barrel pick. And all of us were just like, no way, get that out of my face. Somebody's throwing up right now. This is going to be rough, and this is very unprofessional. So I think we all ended up just taking a rip of it and being like,
No, I was going to say, I think I was very much in the aspect of this sucks, but it's the best hair of the dog.
yeah,
I think
hair
you
of the
could
dog
ever
at
have.
that point.
So yeah, we did that, and then we had a beautiful tour. We had like a little packaged lunch in their like little top floor loft area.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful.
And then we went to their private room thing, and I remember I hadn't smoked cigarettes in years, and I remember I was begging anybody to have a cigarette, and everybody was actually out of cigarettes at the time, so it was an interesting time. And then we went to the private room, which was the most beautiful room I've ever seen, of whiskey bottles displayed with like weird things that look like clocks that weren't clocks, and just clear glass panels, and like you could see the cave where like they get their water from in the background.
It was beautiful until we were trapped in there with what felt like days.
Yeah, so they essentially gave us a bunch of staves to add to the blends. So they gave us like, here's one that's more oaky, here's one that has like a higher vanilla content, and so have you. And then we were blending them, and we split up into two groups, and we essentially all were making the exact same thing with like one barrel pick different each time, and we were getting nowhere. And we kept voting. We traded groups. I think I was definitely in the aspect of like gung-ho on like, this is the one, I'm not changing it. So I just stuck to drinking all the whiskey in front of me. And then I think we kept drawing. And
we
then
just kept trying, and we took one break, and all of us walked outside. Mind you, don't forget that we're all very hungover. Now we're sweating out the booze. The room's kind of hot, and it's just like gross and muggy out. We walk outside like we had been in a dungeon for weeks. Like this was the first fresh air any of us had seen. I'm pretty sure like 3 people fell to their knees. got very dramatic, and we all knew that we'd have to go back in that fucking room to pick one situation. We just had to come to an agreement.
Yeah.
So we didn't.
So we tried, and then inevitably we all felt like we picked one that we agreed on. And then the owner of Harvest Pizzeria, Chris Crater, decided he liked one more that he had like tried earlier and liked, and so that was what it was. So when we left the room, it felt very strange to like put a lot of effort into something to only find out that like we essentially suffered through tasting
Hours.
whiskey hungover
Hours.
for not what we all wanted wholeheartedly. But then the kicker was we had to drive home that day.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So
We
three
weren't-
and a half hours home from Loretto.
Yeah, we weren't done yet. And now we're like, everyone's in this mix of like, what did we eat? Does anybody have more chips? What's going on with those cigarettes? Like, there was just so much trash happening amongst these people that the drive home was like when your parents get divorced, but then your parents multiply and you're all stuck in the car with them. Everyone's fighting. Everyone hates each other.
Yeah, it'd be like if you were on a road trip home from like Mount Rushmore, and as you're leaving Mount Rushmore, they go, "We're getting a divorce," and
you
then just
have to
don't
sit
talk
there.
the rest of the way home.
Yeah.
With no explanation, no nothing. You're just sitting there in your own thoughts. Half the people in the van kept saying they're going to throw up every 2 minutes, and they were all right behind me. So it was very misfortunate.
There was an actual screaming match about the air conditioning.
There was.
It was, can you please turn on the air conditioning? If you turn on the air conditioning, I will stab you and then kick you out of this car. I swear to God. And don't worry, guys, it didn't stop there. 10 minutes later, it was like, yo, but could we really get that air conditioning on?
Or roll a window.
Anything.
And then you and Rebecca were watching the
Horrible.
Netflix. No, you were watching the Netflix Lemony Snicket.
Yeah.
You guys
I
were
gave
just
up on
binge watching.
everyone. Yeah.
You were zoned out, and I was just stuck in like.
I just watched a series of unfortunate
'cause
events. I forgot I've ever watched that because
they
I
didn't
don't
even
remember
play
that day.
They didn't even play music on the way home for like
Yeah,
over half the
you guys,
ride.
we sat in silence for 4 hours.
It seems fitting for the day, though,
Yeah,
to be
it was-
watching that.
Yeah, I was like, this is fine. At
I know.
least
I kept
have
like
phones.
I had watched the movie with Jim Carrey, so I'd just like peek over the like because it was those 9-person vans, you know. So it's like you have two, then like the two that you could squeeze three, and the two you could squeeze three, and then like the weird 4-person back seat or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, the 4 people that wanted to throw up were all right behind me. I was like that far back, but Lindsay was right in front of me, so I just kept trying to like watch her phone. And I don't know if she knew or not, but she kept turning it away every time I could see something.
Oh, I didn't know.
So
I think I was trying to
like,
stay awake, and I was like,
because my
nodding
phone
off.
was dead, so my only source of entertainment was like looking over at Cade, who was asleep. You and Rebecca were in front. Travis was just zoned.
Yeah.
Travis was in his own like I'm in my own world on my phone.
Like, I just want to get home. We got dropped off at Harvest in German Village, and I would put money down that no one said anything to each other besides, where's my bag? And then we all just walked away.
Yeah, because our bags were in. We left random bags inside Curia and locked them
Yeah.
up. So we all walked in, grabbed them, and
Yeah.
Departed
Like, we
for
didn't
the
say
day.
goodbye to each other. We were just like,
Sounds
I think
an
we got
awesome
home at
trip.
like we got home at like 11 o'clock at night on Monday
yeah,
and started at 7 a.m. hungover.
on like 2 hours of sleep because we all decided to drink heavily the night before. And that's what happens when you take a whole bunch of bartenders to a barrel pick on somebody else's dime, you guys. It is a questionable time.
It was a great time.
Yeah, and then the barrels came in, and we were like, because we all got to sign every bottle.
Oh no, I remember now.
And we were all like searching for our bottles, and then after that, we kept the one barrel pick that Curio all made that did not get approved, and we just tucked it into Curio, and we're like, you will forever be our golden child. And I don't know if we ever drank it.
No, I think I took it.
I support that.
I think I took it on the last day to make
for
sure
you.
it didn't go to waste.
Yeah.
Good.
No, I remember. I remember now. Travis rode with Joe Rosman on the way back home because I rode down with Bacano, Alex Buchanan, who's a
yeah.
Beam ambassador at the time. And then I couldn't get in either car on the way home, and that was all I campaigned for, and I couldn't get it.
God, what a trip.
It was a good time.
It was
Really
a
good
great
food,
time.
Really good experience. Love Maker's Mark.
Just a blast. Maker's Mark is beautiful.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing I ever got to do with Maker's Mark was I know time's wrapping up, but my favorite thing was like the Flavors Nations thing they did at the convention center a few years ago, where they did all 50 states, like the food of the state, and it was all sampled.
Oh, that's
like,
neat.
It was neat, except Ohio got Buckeyes.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you guys want to be known for our food scene as for the state of just making chocolate and peanut butter.
Right. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't like a crock pot recipe.
I was like, oh, I bet it's something with corn.
That. Oh, that
or
makes sense too.
Soybeans. Like, what do we grow out of? Nope, chocolate and peanut butter.
I was gonna say buffalo chicken dip.
But it was cool. But I did like a lot of like I did like presentations and like brought people up and did like your own like I'll bring you up and I'll tell you how to make the drink. So like you sit there and go through and make it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Makers has always been a really good support. They did a Toys for Tots for an event that we all hosted at Little Rock one year for all weekend.
Yeah.
You're great partners.
That was your pop-up.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Whipped
I remember I just switched to drinking whatever you infuse with pine needles. Mm-hmm. I remember I just was drinking that straight.
Yeah.
Because I could get that faster than a cocktail. Mm-hmm. And you guys would just throw it at me. Mm-hmm. That was a great night.
Oh, that was a hefty night.
That's for another podcast.
I'm still tired from thinking about that. But yeah. Well, Ben, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolute blast. And thank you guys for letting me guest host. I've had the best time.
Thank you both for coming on the show.
Yeah, anytime. Cheers.
Cheers.
Listeners, please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Seabus Craft Cocktail Tour, and visit our website at columbuscraftcocktailtour.com for cocktail tour dates, women and whiskey tastings, and other events and merchandise. Thanks to our producer, Greg Hansberry, and to the biographer for our original music. Please remember to drink responsibly, tip appropriately, and be cocktail curious. Cheers!
This has been a Last Call Productions production.